How's it going, everyone? So finally we are back for an update video for Rust on my channel. Sorry it has been basically forever, but hey, we've got some cool stuff coming up and a lot of changes coming to Rust. So first off, before we get into it, there are some things I can kind of just glaze over real quick with you. Nexus is getting a lot of work being done on it in the background. That is Rust's eventual server-to-server transferring through the barge. It looks like most of the stuff is focused on the barge right now. Or through aircraft or through undersea or boat. So we'll see how that all goes, but server transferring is definitely something that sounds really cool. There's also work on some things like the pets branch being done as well, and a few other little, nicks and fixes here and there. A few things worth mentioning would be the genetic code of plant clones will show up in vending machines when you go to purchase them. Also, there has been a size down on the underwater labs. They're mostly just small now, and that's kind of how that goes there. The armor double door should have its hatch sound fixed. Rowbolts no longer call the stash from forever away, only at 10 meters. This should help with frame rate and so forth. They added some radio stations, fixed some broken ones, and then they also have made scrap I can't speak today. Scrap T yield more scrap for you. So yeah, they're trying to make that a little more enticing. It's always good to see them balance some stuff like that. So those are some cool things, but some major things that are coming is the changes to Trainyard. And Trainyard actually has a new addition to its monument. So we're gonna go ahead and leave my body real quick and fly on over here. And you'll see the train tracks actually connect into Trainyard now. I've always said that was going to be a thing, and look, it finally is, and they finally got it in and going. But you'll notice this new kind of monument here, and at one point they said, hey, what should we name this on Twitter, etc. And you got Cobalt Logistics is what this is named over here. And you'll notice it needs a green key card, and it also has some kind of like weird sucky hose thing outside and a light. So how's this all work, really? Well, you might want to clear out the NPCs that are actually around, but we won't worry about that. But basically, you're going to come in here, you're going to slide the key card, and then that gives you access to here. And you'll actually have a collection bin here, a switch you'll need to interact with here, and then if you head up the ladder here, you'll actually have to put in a fuse before you can use any of these buttons once restoring the switch down there. Once that's done, you can go ahead and start to loot train containers. What's that exactly mean? Well, we actually have several new and one updated train container. You'll actually notice there's a polar bear in our train trying to eat us. The first thing is going to be the new train engine. So there's a proper train engine for the top here. The model is absolutely beautiful. Now, it may be a little bit confusing as to how this thing works, and you're going to be like, what do you mean? The trains are straightforward. And what I mean is the way you enter it is actually here from the front, where you mount it right there. And if you go around on this side, you cannot mount it. And you can also climb up along the back. There's a ladder that will let you onto the roof, as well as a ladder up on the cab to get you onto the roof of the cab. But where do you put the fuel? Some people ran all around it, including myself, trying to figure it out, and literally it's this giant thing on the side of it that says fuel storage. And if it wasn't obvious enough with this giant F right here with a nozzle, yeah, some people are blind like myself. But anyways, fuel is put down here on the bottom. So once you've got that, you can couple some carts to it, and you want to drag them on over to Trainyard. And the first type of cart you can get here are the resource carts. So you'll see this one right here is full of charcoal. Then there is a metal cart. You can see we've got metal. Then over here we've got a sulfur cart, which is quite cool. And then you'll see the fuel tanks actually now will have fuel in them, but it's locked, of course. You can't pull it out, so you'll have to go ahead and drag it to Trainyard. And the last one is actually a loot box. You'll see there's buried boxes in here, and you can't, even if you can poke in access and look what's in them, you can't take them until you've gotten them through there. So let's go ahead and show how this function works. So we're gonna go ahead and jump on into our train. Oh, we see again, jump in the front here. You can see it has our 6 coupled things there with the C6. Also, cab lights stay on even if you don't turn on the headlight, which is kind of nice. So here we are, pulling on up. All right, now that we're out of here, we've got to give this thing some power. Oh. So let's go ahead and actually do that. Hello? There it goes. And the switch is now on. We can climb on up the ladder to our fuse. Once that's in, we should now have lights. Nothing unload. No next train car. Alright, well, that means we need to go out there and see what it's saying here. Oh yeah, we definitely still have the train parked up in here. Oh, and the NPCs don't like us very much. I'm gonna go ahead and take care of that real quick. Alright, we got that taken care of. So you'll be looking for these lights. If you have someone else here, they'll give you a cue of actually turning green or red or yellow. But if you're the driver, you won't be able to see that. So that's kind of a problem. So as you move very slowly forward, be ready to hit stop. You'll actually hear an audio cue of when you want to stop. So there we go. That was that audio cue. We should be good. Yep, we got a green light. So we can go ahead and cruise on up here and hit our button. Oh, whoops. Okay, that's the wrong one. So previous, and there we go. So you can kind of see out the window what we got there. So now we're going to unload it. There it goes. It'll be dumping our stuff off into there. See? All right. Now that that's done. Ooh, okay. It looks like it's going to take a fuse the entire time, or maybe we just took too long on the fuse there. We're going to have to see. We're going to go ahead and pull one into there and say... Next cart. And unload. Oh yeah, you can see it kind of really sucks the power there. I think most of it was just me lining up the carts. Yeah, definitely most of it was me lining up the carts there. Alright, next cart. Now obviously it's previous because I came in, you know, from this angle here. So now we got the unload on the sulfur. There it goes. Very nice. Then we've got our next one, which is going to be our fuel cart. Look at that, it actually pops open and the hose goes in. I love the fact that it has an animation. That's really cool. Look at that. Ah, that's so cool. Alright. And our last one is going to be our loot crate. Alright, so yeah, I just waited too long on the fuse there. That fuse definitely made it through the rest of the carts. So now we can go ahead and head on out here. And if we jump up into our loot cart, you'll see that it should usually have a green crate, a regular loot brown box, and then there should usually be a food and a medical box in there. And then sometimes a second green crate or brown crate. So that's how that goes there. But yeah, some cool functionality added to actually using the trains up here. How do you guys feel about that addition to the game? Another new feature you might notice as you're going around in monuments is that there are light switches now. And once you turn these on, they'll actually light up the insides of the different parts of monuments. This right now can be seen in different things like here at the Trainyard, launch site, harbor, lighthouse, the gas station, and the supermarket. And I believe airfield, power plant, Arctic base, and mining outpost should also be getting it all. But the one thing that I would say is really worth checking out is the supermarket, because the sign actually lights up at night now. Alright, here we are in supermarket. It's pretty pitch black. You can see the actual switch pretty well, and you'll see it turns on pretty much the normal supermarket lights. I feel like they're a little bit brighter here and there in it, but not by much. Pretty much the kind of same lighting it would usually have at night. But the fun thing is, hey, look at the supermarket light lights up now. It's, you know, the little things in Rust. Alright, so lastly, guys, there are two new grenades, so to say, or throwing weapons. And as of right now, they're just barely implemented today as I did this video. You've got the Flashbang Grenade, which you can see is like this jar, which is really awesome. It really fits Rust. And then we've got a Molly, which, I mean, pretty easy, right? Now, if you go ahead and look in here, they do not exist. No Flash and no Molotov. They're just not there. They are not researchable, and they do not exist in any of the benches yet. So as far as how they're going to be implemented, I'm not sure. I also scanned over Bandit Camp, and I did not notice them in there, as well as scanning over Outpost. Maybe they're in loot boxes. I just have a feeling they're not fully implemented yet. They just want us to go ahead and test them. So let's go ahead and look at the stats of them first. The Flashbang itself it does actually do damage of 35. It goes 26 meters, a 1 second fuse, and a blast radius of 3. And then if we look in this one, the Molly has a 50 lethality, 26 meter fuse is 8 to 10 seconds, a blast radius of 3. So we're going to go ahead and just kind of throw a flashbang in the distance and see what the effect looks like. So it doesn't look like too much crazy from right there. Let's go ahead and flashbang ourselves. All right, well, looks like flashbanging yourself is a bad idea. So we're not going to go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and throw a Molotov. So you have to go ahead and hold right click to light it. And okay, so you can see that's still a little buggy, but yeah, that hurt a lot. Okay, so hold right click and then click left click to throw. There we go. That's quite a bit of a burn right there. All right. So let's go ahead and actually get a few things. Yeah, looks like we've got some collision mess going on there. It's always new stuff. This is very, very, very new. Keep that in mind. So let's see how well it burns up wood, huh? Let's do like a wooden foundation over here. And then over here we'll do a wooden wall. Hard side, of course. So light it. Hit that wall there. Alright. Oh, and I killed myself. Alright, here we are. We're back. So let's go ahead and grab that tool. See what we did here. Not a whole lot of damage to that foundation. And not a whole lot of damage there fires. So it definitely seems like the team has made it to where they are focused on PvP. Not, you know, people using them to raid bases. That could be something that changes in the future once they've decided to, you know, rework these a little more, but we just have to see how that goes. But yeah, that's the 2 new upcoming grenades. They should be optimized and popping in soon. So always cool to see new weapons popping in. Alright, so lastly we've got the new cooking and furnace interface, and it's meant to be something that makes it a lot more straightforward as to what you get. Here's what you pull in, here's what the byproduct is, and here's what you put in, and here's what comes out. So, you know, fuel, what the fuel turns into. The item you put in, what the item will turn into. And so you can see that that is now a interface here with the campfires, as well as the grill. The grill you can put in 1, 2, wow, I'm counting here. 4 stacks you can put in here, and it will produce 4 separate stacks. So, I mean, it's technically like having 8 spaces in there, plus the extra space for the charcoal and the wood. So, you know, you got that. But here's where it really changes. The furnace now technically only holds 1 stack of 1,000. So that is interesting there. But we'll get back to that in a second. Refinery is going to be the same way. You can't really split the stacks in it. You can just put 500 crude oil and you're going to get the full stack into here. So then that makes you kind of wonder, well then, okay, does it stop with low grade? Does low grade now stack higher? And the answer is, it looks like low grade still stacks only to 500, but you'll notice high qual now stacks to 1,000. So that is actually something that is a little bit nice there. And if you go into a large furnace, you'll actually notice it now has an extra spot, and it also burns faster. I'm not sure exactly what the full percentage of how much faster, but it is supposed to be quite a bit faster. They're still tweaking it. But yeah, basically that's where it's going. But in addition to all of this, there is also commits for an electric furnace. So I'm assuming that will be either really big or extra fast or both. We'll just have to see how that goes. I asked to see if I can get any info on it. Looks like it's too early for that. But that's going to do it, everybody. Thanks for watching. Let me know how you feel about everything down in the comment section below, and we will see you next time. Stay rusty.